Wizard of Oz is regarded as a classic of American cinema, perhaps because Oz is a country much like our own today. Its people possess great diversity. The land itself is filled with natural beauty. The citizens enjoy a remarkably high standard of living. Yet also live under the constant threat of terrorism. Its political leaders are often mere images, manipulated by unscrupulous political handlers. Oz, of course, is a fantasy, but America is very real. Who rules over us now? What sort of man decides our fate? Who is our own Wizard of Oz?
Howdy, I'm George W. This here's my gut. It's where I do my thinking and decide. Today, I'm hoping you'll decide to lend me your support for 4 more years. Let me begin by stating what this election is not about. It is not about the health care, nor the economy, nor the Kyoto Treaty. It is about whether you and your loved ones will suffer sudden, painful, and in all likelihood horrible deaths at the hands of the terrorists. And it is about leadership. You know, I can think back to a crisp, clear September morning, a little more than 3 years ago, when we were first confronted with a terroristic threat. I was reading to school children in a Florida classroom, but I flew to ground zero as immediately as I could. And I remember standing there, feeling helpless, wishing there was something I could do, when out of the dust and smoke, a New York City firefighter came staggering toward me. His face was drenched in sweat and filled with the horror of what had just transpired. I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, "Mr. President, we have to cut the marginal rates on capital gains and put an end to the double taxation of dividends." He said something else too. He said, "Mr. President, we can't let Saddam Hussein get away with this." I was in complete agreement. From weeks within September 11th, my crack team of military advisors had devised ways to surgically remove Saddam Hussein from power so that Iraq could become a peaceful and prosperous democracy, serve as a beacon of hope for that war-weary region. It hasn't been easy. I know that. Folks been getting blowed up. Important thing is they's over there getting blowed up, not over here getting blowed up. Because if they was over here getting blowed up, it might be you getting blowed up. I'm against you getting blowed up. Leadership. Now, how would my opponent have responded to a crisis of leadership like I have just described? Well, it is my observation that Senator Kerry allows reality to interfere with his decision-making. This is a sharp distinction between us. Folks, I'm going to say it as plain as I can so you know where I stand. Reality is for losers. When your military budget is bigger than the next 15 countries combined, you get to create your own reality. Consistent with the highest moral standards, of course. Down where I come from, down by Texas way, we have a code of honor. I like to think of it as frontier justice. It says that when someone comes and attacks you, kills innocent people, you hunt that person down. For a while, But you can't find him. You go get somebody else. Especially if that somebody else is one of them swarthy Middle Eastern types, lives in a real flat country, no trees, no Air Force. you can drop justice down on them real good. Real good. Now, my opponent also likes to say that this is a war of choice and that we will never find WMD in Iraq. Fortunately for me, my supporters do not acquire their factual beliefs from these so-called experts. The fact is, most of my people think that we already found WMD in Iraq. So if we ever do find WMD, they'll just think we're finding more. We Republicans are tired of being enslaved to the truth. I'd like to conclude by inserting into the campaign my beautiful and popular wife, Laura. Thank you. Isn't she something? Everybody loves Laura. Not everybody loves me, but everybody loves Laura. The other day, I was out strolling, and I happened to see a man, let's call him Adam, walking together with another man, let's call him Steve. And they was holding hands and acting all loving toward one another. Now, why does that bother me, you ask? Well, what will happen if the next time that Laura and I decide to go out strolling, we know that somewhere Adam and Steve could be strolling too? You see, if Adam and Steve are allowed to stroll,
it would weaken the institution of strolling.
It will weaken the institution of strolling.
It would undermine the core values strolling embodies.
And it will undermine the core values that strolling embodies.
It would subvert the Constitution.
And it will subversify the Constitution.
God, he can't even repeat the lines.
God, he can't even repeat the... I have to go fight the terrorists now. Thank you.